Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Atira Sofia binti Adnan. My metric number is AF 2031. Today, I would like to talk about the introduction of our project. What is hydrology? Hydrology can be thought of as the branch of civil engineering concerned with the study of water resource. The hydrological cycle is referred to as the water cycle. The hydrological cycle can be defined as the process through the water from all freshwater sources, seas and lands move from the Earth's surface to the atmosphere and back via precipitation. The hydrology studies the fundamental transport processes to be able to describe the quality and quantity of water as it moves through the cycle, which is rainfall, infiltration, streamflow, groundwater measurement and the other component. The objective of this project are to measure the rainfall, to determine the infiltration rate of water into the soil in the particular area, and to estimate the factor that influences rainfall, infiltration, stream flow, groundwater measurement. That's it from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nurata Jasmine binti Momaradwan. My metric number is AF20023. So let me explain about the study area for rainfall. So first, the amounts of water that condense as precipitations or rainfall on the surface of the earth. It develops when air masses move on warm bodies of water or over moist soil surface. Turbulence and convection in the atmosphere carry moisture or water vapor up the air masses where they form clouds. The clouds eventually release this water vapor and fall as the rain. Rainfall important for the water cycle, the continuous movements of water below, on and above the surface of the earth. This cycle mainly includes water stored in the sea, but also underground, lakes, rivers, ice caps, and glaciers. In this project, we use the automated rain gauge method, which is tipping bucket rain gauge (TBRG), to measure the daily rainfall. Okay, next slide is infiltration. So infiltration is the process by which surface water infiltrates the soil. The infiltration rate is the maximum rate at the water absorbed into the surface of the soil. Several factors affect the permeation of the soil, such as texture, surface crust, compaction, combinations, and structures, water content, freezing surface, organic matters, and pores. An infiltration process to control the quantity and quality of the surface runoff. This method can reduce the amount of surface runoff and eliminate the problem of flooding in big cities. In the filtration test, the double ring method was used to determine the rate of water infiltration into the soil. Okay, so we continue the next slide, which is stream flow. So a stream flow, which represent the flow rate of the water cycle, is the important basic data for hydrological research. Accurate measurements of precipitations, evaporations, and evapotranspiration is difficult, and the methods currently used are severely limited. The rate of infiltration is determined by the area that penetrates the soil and the amounts of water per hour. This rate can calculate using the measurement result and Darcy law. Measurements are made only on the inner range, where water flows almost vertically. Current meters are still not the most widely used device for measuring flow velocity. A current meter is a precision instrument that measures the speed of flowing water at its limit in this project. Last but not least, we continue with the groundwater. So groundwater is water that has entered the Earth's surface. It penetrates and impermeable layers and forms underground lakes called aquifers. To obtain more information and to quantify test the availability of water in the soil, use measuring wells to measure the mineral content, locations, and water quality of groundwater. Water exchange between groundwater and surface water can have a significant impact on the water quality of any of these hydrological zones. For groundwater measurement, we use the tracer. This type of tracing test is particularly useful for determining stream velocity by assuming flow from a well near a water source is indicated spreadly towards the creeks. That's all for study areas for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Yana Natasha binti Muhammad Rashid. Metric number AF20024. I will explain about method and equation. First of all, rainfall. An instrument to measure the rainfall is rain gauge. Rain gauge also known as pluviometer and ombrometer and eudometer. There are two types of rain gauge, which is manual gauge and automatic rain gauge. An automatic rain gauge is a type of equipment used mostly for meteorologists and hydrologists to measure the rainfall fall that fall over the certain period. Equation used is Px is equal 1 over n summation of n time missing rainfall data. Next, infiltration. A double ring infiltrometer is used in the field to measure the rate of infiltration of liquid, often water, into fine or coarse-grained soil. This type of testing is especially used for fine-grained soil that give a little resistance as the ring penetrates the soil. The double ring field test is classified as a simple test to determine the rate of soil. The test was performed on site complements with ASTM T338503 standard test procedure. The test apparatus comprised of the inner and outer ring with the diameter of 30 cm and 60 cm respectively. The equation used is F equals to Fc plus initial infiltration capacity minus final infiltration capacity. Streamflow. Streamflow measurement is critical for the river basin design management and pollution reduction. The flow in each segment is calculated by the product of the segment area and the average of velocity at the stream place. The overall discharge is then calculated by adding the result from each part of the river. The average velocity is measured with the proper equipment such as water current meter. So in conclusion, water current meter is used for stream flow. The equation used is stream discharge is equal to 1 over the minimum roughness of coefficient, time, cross-section area, time, hydraulic radius, time, slope channel. Lastly, groundwater. Groundwater can be determined using the conservative tracer. This method is to determine the groundwater velocity by computing from the travel time and distance data. If the flow direction is not exactly understood, the tracer plumber may miss the downstream well. Multiply downstream well along a control plane can assist in overcoming this issue. Alternatively, a tracer die is put to well and meet with the water that is contained within the borehole dilation test. The tracer conservation is continually monitored as the water flow into and out of the well. Groundwater velocity may be calculated using the tracer relation curve. Equation used is Darcy law equation. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Noradila binti Muhammad Ahmad. My metric number AF200001 and I will present about the result and analysis. So this is the example analysis of the infiltration test. Okay, alright. So the data were summarized in table 1. The analysis was based on Horton equation which developed by Horton 1939. This equation was used to compare the measure equation parameters with literature value. The equation is as follows: F equal to Fc plus F naught minus Fc e the power of e the power of minus kt. Alright, so we know that F is infiltration capacity, F naught is initial infiltration capacity, Fc is final infiltration capacity, K is empirical constant.
This equation assumes that the rainfall intensity is greater than the infiltration capacity at all times and that the infiltration rate decreases with time based on Bedian and Shiver in 1992. From the measure data on the field, the infiltration curve of infiltration rate versus time was plotted in figure 1. Alright, from the graph plotted, the Horton equation can be determined for both study area. From the result obtained from both study area and compared to values of Horton infiltration parameter. Okay, so we can continue to the results and analysis for the stream flow. The measure value of discharge when plotted against the corresponding stage give relationship that represents the integrate effect of a wide range of channel and flow parameters. The combined effect of these parameters is term control. If the GQ relationship for a gorging section is constant and does not change with time, the control is said to be permanent. If it changes with time, it is called shifting control. So there are following of the data of gorge and discharge collected at a particular section of a river by stream gorging operation. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Normunah binti Syari and it is now my turn to conclude our project. So, for each rainfall, infiltration, stream flow, and groundwater, a variety of measurements and calculations are utilized. To sum things up, we study about rainfall, infiltration, stream flow, and groundwater measurements and how each of the equation used. Firstly, a rain gauge is a device that measures the amount of rainfall. This rain gauge is also referred to as a pluviometer, obrometer, or odometer. An automatic rain gauge is a piece of equipment that meteorologists and hydrologists use to track the amount of rain that falls over time. Because of the automatic rain gauge device, most likely a tipping bucket does not function for a brief period of time and the rainfall data cannot be gathered and is missing. Thus, the equation used to calculate the data is using arithmetic mean approach. In addition, a double ring infiltrometer is used in the field to measure the rate of infiltration of a liquid, usually water, into fine or coarse-grained soil in accordance with ASTM D3385. The result of the infiltration will be published and Horton equation will undertake calculations based on the results to determine the exact value of the water infiltration soil. The infiltration capacity, rainfall length, time curve is used in the traditional Horton equation. The modified equation stimulation performance and uncertainty were compared to those of the original Horton equation to ensure its correctness. Moreover, measurement of stream flow is essential for river basin planning, management, and pollution control. The product of segments area and the average velocity of the stream that at that location is used to determine the flow in each segment. After then, the total discharge is estimated by combining the result from each section of the river. In 1889, the Irishman Manning created the Manning formula. This Manning formula is often employed in the design of water-carrying channels that have been opened. The stream discharge is calculated using the Manning equations. The number of rotations was counted after specified amount of time had passed, and the velocity was calculated using the calibration formula. Last but not least, the conservative tracer can be used to determine groundwater. The groundwater velocity is calculated using the trip time and distance data. In this approach, the tracer plumb may miss the downstream well if the flow direction is not precisely determined. Darcy's law can be used to calculate the velocity of groundwater. Darcy's law is an equation that uses three independent variables to characterize the flow of groundwater in aquifers: horizontal hydraulic conductivity, horizontal hydraulic gradient, and effective porosity. By the end of the project, we are able to measure the rainfall, determine the infiltration rate of water into the soil in the particular area, and estimate the factor that influencing rainfall, infiltration, stream flow, and ground groundwater measurement. So that's all from us. Thank you.